disability throughout time, yours and mine. The stories are in the bones.
Eventually, cities began to recognize that disabled people should be cared for, and hospitals were built. The most famous in England was called Bethlehem Hospital, which we now call Bedlam. Although built with good intentions, these places soon fell into conditions that could only be described as horrific.
Care for disabled people was now considered an individual and civic duty. Outcomes were dependent upon social class. Higher-born people could be housed in private madhouses, while poor people were sent to giant, newly built hospitals for care.
How does the boy, midwife?
Well, there may have been a complication.
Well, let it out, girl.
The child has deformed feet and one clouded eye.
What? Well, my word, an official as high as I cannot have a deformed child in his bloodline.
Whatever shall we do?
If I might be so bold as to make a suggestion.
Please do tell of what we may do.
You and your family are rather wealthy, are you not?
Our wealth is exceptional.
Then why send your child of excellent bloodline to a filthy hospital for the poor like Bedlam, when he could live out his days in relative comfort of a private madhouse?
A madhouse? Would that be able to meet his needs?
Why have your son chained to a bed in Bedlam when he can instead live in a walled-in estate with gardens, beagles to hunt with, and indoor games?
Well, chained to a bed does sound horrible, but you don't think God might be punishing us in some way?
Don't be silly, Elizabeth. We lived during the Enlightenment.
Your husband is right. Don't let the word madhouse scare you. Madness is not seen as demons punishing us now, but merely the loss of reason.
Why, Elizabeth? Don't you remember I had my uncle put away in one so we could inherit his estate?
And they have been taking good care of him?
That's what they've been telling me. I mean, I haven't checked in a good 8 years, but what are the chances that such an unregulated system might be fraught with abuse?
Well, then it must be our best option.
Excellent. I will take the baby and bring you a bill.
The madhouses would later come under scrutiny for abuses and be subject to licensing. The Enlightenment was a time full of many events and persons of interest related to disability. Enough that perhaps whole plays could be written on this time and its people alone.
But let us go to America to meet a man you tragically may not have heard of in your history class. Founding father and signer of the Declaration of Independence, Stephen Hopkins, a politician born with cerebral palsy, who is quoted as saying,
"My hand may tremble, but my heart does not."
His signature, along with many others, helped bring this nation into being.
Across Europe and America, the rise of factories brought about the industrial era. Human labor was put in service to the machines and the mines and furnaces that produced them. The numbers of disabled increased profoundly through injuries on the job.
I can't see.
My
arm.
My leg!
Master, increase production! My leg! Help me!
My son is dead.
Meanwhile, as the disparities grew between the titans of industry and the laborers who lived to increase their wealth but not their own, Societies had to solve the problem of what to do with those who could no longer produce wealth through their labor.
Across Europe and America, the rise of factories brought about the industrial era. Human labor was put in service to the machines and the mines and furnaces that produced them. The numbers of disabled increased profoundly through injuries on the job.
Meanwhile, as the disparities grew between the titans of industry and laborers who lived to increase their wealth, but not their own, societies had to solve the problem of what to do with those who could no longer produce wealth through their labor. A street in the early days of Akron, Ohio. Beggars are panhandling.
For the poor.
Food for my family, please.
These beggars are so annoying.
The city must do something about them.
The poorhouse movement in the United States was perceived as a practical solution to both house and provide upkeep for indigents and disabled people.
No more, no more, no more. The graveyard is telling its tale. No more, no more, no more. The graveyard is telling its tale. No more, no more, no more.